Tag Show. Tag Show. That's gonna leave a mark, Taylor.
That's only speed because I'm in the speed. And we're here for season 2, episode 2 of the Mixed Tag Show.
Good morning, Wrestling America.
I don't think that's how this is supposed to start.
Good morning, Wrestling America.
I don't think that's how it's supposed to start. It's my turn. You can do that on your turn, but hey, everybody. Season 2, episode 2 of the Mixed Tag Show.
Of the Mixed Tag Show.
Okay.
If you're interested in a cup, look out soon for our store coming soon.
I don't think we'd be able to sell cups there, though.
Sir, we talked about this last episode. We're going to find a way so we can sell that in the pins. Be easy.
All right. I'm just making sure we don't make no promises.
We trying to get these coins.
You're right. And that we'll get to that in a second. How was your week?
My week was okay. It was good, whatever. You know what I mean? It was good. You know what I mean?
Oh,
sorry, it was good.
Okay.
Minus the wrestling. But my Yankees, shout out to my Yankees.
Shout out our Yankees.
Our Yankees. You know, that was a good thing last week. So I was very, very... No, not last week. This Monday.
Yep,
this past
nice
Monday.
Sweep.
So I'm going to the ALCS. Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Going for number 28. So, you know, that was good.
I like our chances. We're looking very focused this time around.
All season I felt like that. But this is not a baseball podcast.
Right,
it's wrestling.
Right.
So continue. How was yours?
My week was okay. Ups and downs. Life happens. But we live on.
You wearing a Mia Yim shirt?
Yes. Shout out to the WWE shop hooking me up with the Mia Yim t-shirt.
Shout out to Chalkline for sending me Latin World Order jacket. Got a rep for my Latinos, you know.
I wasn't done talking about Mia Yim. My Mia Yim shirt, you get this on the WWE shop by clicking on the link. You can't get that on my link, so I got to promote this first.
Facts, okay. Sorry.
Now you can go ahead.
All right, well, because, you know, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, you know, so we got to rep. Well, is it, I think to the 15th. I forget. Whatever. But, you know, got to rep the Latinos. And plus, it was Eddie Guerrero's his birthday this past week. Yep. So shout out to, I think, the greatest wrestler ever, but that's another topic for another day for Patreon.
Yeah, that's one of our topics we're going to be discussing on Patreon. Speaking of Patreon, make sure you click the link also in our bio
it's
to become
the ticker right now.
Yeah, it's not clickable, but you can see it. You can see the address. You can type it in. So you can go ahead and be a patron of our Patreon. We have $1 tier that gets you a shout out during the show and on our IG twice a month. We have a $3 tier, which unlocks special debates and discussions between Miss Jenna and I. And we
Miss Jenna Baby. Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBE, and it's Simply Blue on social media platforms.
It's all in the ticker. It's all in the ticker. So
yes, but sometimes some people, just for example, just stare
oh yeah,
at
people
me,
that's listening,
and then people that's just staring at me, don't necessarily want to look at the ticker.
Okay, right. And you can also follow us at the Mixed Tag Show on Twitter and Instagram as well. For the $5 tier, name run as a producer credit at the end of our YouTube videos. You also get the chance to pitch some hot topics, which is now called The Pit, and discussions for our other Patreon videos. So also you also get a raffle ticket for each of those to get a chance to win free merchandise. 5 tickets for $5, 3 tickets with the $3, and 1 ticket with the $1. Boom.
All right. Ready?
Yeah, let's go into Hell in a Cell. And this one we said we're doing 3 minutes, right?
Yeah, let's do. That's what I was thinking 4, but
it
was so bad. There's so much to talk about.
We have so much. This is the point of the timer.
All right, let's go.
We can't manipulate it for our advantage.
I mean, we did last week.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
Let's go.
All right, because it was premiere week.
Let's go.
Don't do that.
Let's go.
We're going to start off with the match of the night.
Match of the year candidate.
Match of the year candidate. The one to open up the show. Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship title, belt, whatever. And Becky Lynch won. What did you think of it? Obviously, we know, but...
Yeah, I think it was a very creative match. between the two, they really did some things we'd never seen inside the Hell of a Cell. They were very unique, and I was sad with the ending because now where does Sasha go from here? Like Sasha just tapped out to Becky Lynch, and Becky didn't need that win, and I think Sasha needed one of her big wins and one of the big pay-per-views.
I mean, you already know how I feel. Anyone that follows the show knows, or what have you. We're big Sasha Banks fans,
right?
And even if you take that out of the equation, right? You're right. You can't have someone that comes in the way she did back in August, one of the most talked about superstars, and have her lose. Right. First of all, Becky Lynch is at a point where she's this close from being a mega superstar, but don't push it. It has to be organic. We saw what happened with AJ with his last title run. Say what you want. He's a great wrestler, Hall of Famer, legend. But his last title reign was trash because you didn't take the belt off of him. And now look, you have him on Raw. He doesn't get the same reactions that he does. Let's keep it 100.
It varies from time to time.
He doesn't get the same reactions. Like, let's keep it 100. He doesn't get.
We're not talking back and forth. Agree to disagree. Go ahead.
Well, no, this is we gotta talk, man. But the point, all right. But he doesn't get the same reactions. It was the same thing, and I'm not saying because I know there was a report saying like, "Oh, is Becky Lynch the new Roman Reigns?" No, that's not the case. But you don't want.
We'll talk about that later.
But you don't want it to be to a point where people start hating her, or she's her character is anti-establishment corporation. She has to be chasing for it. Right. Sasha was the perfect person that of star caliber to take it from her and run Raw, while obviously Becky should be running SmackDown because apparently they want her, right?
Right.
So there was no reason why Sasha had to lose her second Hell in a Cell and still not get her big win.
I agree with you completely on that. And also, like you said, that Becky needs a chase. And not only that, Sasha needs the title. Sasha hasn't had the title since 2017.
Like you mentioned on Twitter.
Yes, to me, that didn't make no sense. And we'll get later on about somebody else who's held the title 5 times since then. Yeah. And this doesn't make any sense as one of your top performers, especially she came out back red hot.
Super, but, it's just the constant thing with WWE and Sasha. Hopefully there's a bigger picture, but, it was definitely disappointing.
Oh, that's the time for that one. I did add one more that I forgot to put in the notes is the tornado tag, if you don't mind talking about that real quick.
Oh, yeah, because I know you said titles, but that was actually a good match. And we'll get into it in regards to the main event. A lot of it was, what's the word I'm looking for? We didn't really look at it because of what happened with the opening match and then the main event, right? Those two things kind of had our attention elsewhere. But it was a really good match, good chemistry by Roman and Daniel Bryan. I really thought Daniel was going to cross him. Yeah, because it's it was too fast of a face turn.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it just would have been a captivating story, in my opinion, to have Daniel Bryan have a faction.
I think it's more so the lines of Fox wanting that yes movement back. You could probably see that happening soon.
I understand that, but it's how much I know you gotta cater to Fox at this particular moment, but you know what I mean? It's just it can't be everything that they want. You're the ones that are the experts in wrestling. Daniel Bryan he's a very legit, believable heel and face. Right. He can do both. There's not too many people that can do both. Right. Daniel Bryan's that person that can do both, and was if you're able to kill your own yes movement, as big as that was, you got someone there, and for them to just quickly, I don't know,
usher him back into
it would have been a really good feud between him and Roman. He's a great wrestler. We don't give Roman his props, but he can do his thing.
That's another reason why I wanted to discuss it, because I know a lot of people see me as the Roman hater.
I feel like you've turned a leaf slightly.
I speak the truth. That's just how I feel.
No, I understand you speak the truth, but I feel like you turned a leaf slightly in the sense of maybe because they're not booking him like that. They're not
booking him like they doing it right. They let him sit in the background, even though he's still on the front of the posters. That's very annoying because he's not the face.
But he's a star, though.
For example, we'll talk about that later, but he's a star, but if you have somebody that's leading your brand, that should be the face. But we'll talk about that in a little bit in a second. I love the fact that they changed the match from a regular tag team into a tornado match, because that helped it a lot. Yeah. And then seeing how Harper and Rowan singled out Daniel Bryan because that's the weak link. And then for Roman to come in at the end and make the save, it made a lot of sense in terms of booking.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed the match, and I didn't really expect to. So like you said, it was one of those slept-on matches.
That's the word I'm looking for. Slept on. Yeah, and I agree. Again, like we mentioned last week, it was great to see Luke Harper get his moment and just have in a high profile match like that. So, yeah, it was definitely a sleeper.
Ready? What's the next topic?
Yes, sir.
And we're off to the Kabaki Warriors.
Kabuki Warriors.
Kabuki is a Kabaki. Kabuki.
Whatever.
All right, the Warriors. I didn't expect their heel turn, but I enjoyed it.
This was not a bad match either. Like
it wasn't.
And then we'll talk about it at the end. It wasn't a bad match, but it was just like. It was a heel turn that wasn't expected, but when you have a heel turn, like the thing is supposed to be like, oh shit, this happened. Like I didn't get that vibe. You know, that wasn't established early on really. It was just kind of out of nowhere. But I think it's just in general how they've been booked. So it's just like, you know, at this point we don't really know what's going on.
Right.
But it was a decent match for what it was, who they were facing. One in particular, not to throw shade, but shade. I'm happy for them because, you know, they would, if it had to be someone to win the tag team titles, they were long overdue, especially since they have not been utilized.
Right. And like to the heel turn, it was like subtle during the match. It's like you slowly started picking up on small things like, wait, did Kyrie just...
And But you see, and that's my thing. That's such a dope thing that came out of nowhere. But the fact that we haven't really seen the Kabuki Warriors on TV and what have you, it's like it was kind of like it wasn't. If you weren't watching the match or paying attention, you know what I mean. It kind of just went over your head because it's like, oh, okay, it's out of nowhere type thing.
Right.
But yeah, you know, it was cool. I was happy. I was definitely happy that they won.
I was happy they won. It is, like you said, if it wasn't Boston Hug, it should have been Kubaki Warriors.
Kabuki
Warriors. The Warriors. That's what I'm gonna call them. Next topic.
There's only one Warriors.
I said the Warriors.
Yes, the Warriors. Golden State.
Oh.
Season about to start.
All right, let's go to the next topic.
Like I'm from the Yay area. I don't know if that's the Yay area. Whatever.
Charlotte versus Bayley. What do you think of this match?
I didn't really care for the match. I thought it was slow. Bayley's acting skills was on another level, so I just really love her heel persona right now. It's subtle, but yet it's there. I don't get the reason why Charlotte won, but at this point, it's nothing that can be done. We can complain about this all the time, but they're going to just keep giving her title reigns. And at this particular moment, it's going to be short title reigns, but it's just going to be, okay. Consistent. And it's like, at this point, I can't continue to sound like a broken record with Charlotte. She's a great wrestler and what have you. But Bayley was doing a fine job.
She was doing a very good job as a nice little heel turn. I think the match was a little bit physical, more physical than the last match. When
the four horsewomen get together, it's always like I think Charlotte even started bleeding.
Yeah, it's a cheat code. Yeah. But again, I didn't see Charlotte winning her 10th title right then and there.
I mean, it was gonna happen sooner or later.
But they missed the boat again. For Sasha to turn on Bayley. It was like, I couldn't get Becky's title, so I'm going to go take your title because I don't think you're strong enough. I mean,
or it could have been a situation where, and at this point, I'm tired of getting my hopes up when it comes to Sasha's title reigns and like, I said this to like a couple of people. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm happy she's back. I just enjoy her matches. But if you tell me she has a title match, especially on a pay-per-view, I'm not getting my hopes up anymore because she should have won Hell in a Cell. Hold me to that.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Hold me to that. And even when we have predictions and she has a whatever, remind me to not choose Sasha. So if she does win, I'm gonna be over the moon.
This is Charlotte's 5th title since the last time that Sasha held a title.
But not taking it off of Charlotte and Bayley, like we said, Bayley did a fine job. If it was a situation for Sasha to turn on Bayley, it could have been they can still technically do this because you remember they kept teaming together but kept losing.
Right.
It could be that she feels that she's doing.
They won one.
More or less, they've lost. So it could be
Right.
a situation where she feel like, damn, you really holding me down. I used you to get to this point, and you still hold me down. So that could be storyline, but whatever. I'm not trying to get into that because at this point, whatever. With all that said, you gotta really look at Bayley and think like, damn, she's really
out here.
Not even out here, but like the workhorse of the women's division this year. Like she's had a lot of big moments and just put on really good matches. You know what I mean? We don't give Bayley enough credit. Not us, but people in general.
I agree. Let's go to the last match of the.
I hate that noise so much.
On the Hell in a Cell.
I really do. It's like a nightmare because I use my alarm. Gotta find something else because I want to be excited talking about wrestling.
I mean, that's we'll find something. We'll figure it out. But let me reset the time because we definitely wasted time on the event. Because I want to make sure we take our time with this one. This Hell in a Cell match between The Fiend and Seth Rollins. Okay. The way this finished, it made me go on IG Live and go on a rant.
You know, when Blue rants about something or shows like any type of emotion, it's a problem.
Like it didn't.
I done came at this man's neck for so many things, and I'm always the aggressor, and he's very chilled, and everything is chilled about him. So if he got on live,
it made no sense of the way the match finished. So I had my girlfriend watching it with me. This is Hell in a Cell. This is her first review.
What did she think of the opening match?
She loved it. She thought everything else. She loved the tornado tag. She liked the Kabuto Warriors. She thought everything else was. She loved Sasha. So, but everything else was lackluster to her, right? Yeah. So when this finish came, how do you have a DQ, stoppage? As you can tell, I'm still upset by this. How can you have a stoppage in a Hell in a Cell that has no rules? Because he used the sledgehammer. When the Fiend used the mallet, it was okay.
Yeah, it's just... I mean, we've been watching wrestling for how many years? And this is the second year in a row where it just wasn't a clear finish. And you can't, like I said with the whole situation.
What was last year? I don't remember that.
Don't
waste your time. Just go ahead. Don't waste your time. We got
okay,
time
anyway. Okay, but it's what I mentioned about Becky.
I can't wait till Dort get here. He could have looked it up while we talk. Go ahead.
Yeah. Shout out to him, our new studio manager. Anyway, but it's what I was discussing in regards to Becky. I love Seth.
Right.
I'm a Seth fan, right? And I tried when people were like, "Oh, whatever, his reign as champion is stale." I'm like, "No, not really. He puts on really good matches or whatever." But it's so much that you can do. Again, your two hottest characters right now were Sasha and The Fiend. Why, especially if you wanted them to go to SmackDown, Seth and Becky, there's no reason why they're holding the title into the draft. It's a stupid mindset. It's you know what I mean? Seth he is getting stale. I like him as a face. I really do. I don't think he's bad, but he didn't need the title at this particular moment. If someone is hot and over, there's no reason why I'm not going to listen and I'm going to keep it on that person that's not doing it. And besides that, the match it was, and then the red lights. It was stupid. It was overproduced. Just make it. The opening match it was a physical, great wrestling match that two people worked well together. That's all it had to be.
I'm gonna say what I gotta say when we touch it later because you took all the time.
Did I? Because you started it off and gave me like a minute.
All right, I gave you a minute and 30.
Fuck.
Anyway, we're gonna go down to the takedown.
You don't say curses like I do. Say it. I don't want to be the only sailor. No.
Apparently, I don't curse like that. So
I don't curse like that.
We're gonna head over to the takedown, and apparently, we got 4 minutes on this one. Apparently, WWE is bringing in more combat sports people into the sports entertainment as they bring in Cain Velasquez and Tony Velasquez, and Tony Fury. Mm-hmm. I read something somewhere where Cain Velasquez was actually in AAA this past August or something like that. So he's been a hot commodity. And this past week, actually, Cody Rhodes was talking about bringing him into AEW, and Cain made a comment that he'd actually like what AEW is doing and everything. So I found it very interesting that he showed up on SmackDown.
Well, I mean, I think probably the connection to Rey Mysterio, because I believe he is Dominic's godfather or something.
I don't know if that's if his storyline or true.
But regardless of regardless,
I always thought Eddie Guerrero was his godfather.
I mean, his actual father. But
we're not gonna touch that.
We're not gonna touch that. But no, I think that regardless of the fact, I think that I guess that connection. And WWE probably threw the money at him. Let's keep it 100.
Not really, because AEW got the money to do it too.
They have a $1 billion owner, but let's not front and say WWE doesn't have.
No, they got a bag. I'm saying they can match bag to bag if they really wanted to.
Because at the end of the day, as much as Tony Khan wants to talk about I'm a big wrestling fan and what have you, a lot of these owners are not using their own money. It's from sponsorships
right.
and advertisements. So let's keep it 100. It's not,
yeah,
and I'm not saying
AEW.
I'm not saying AEW doesn't have a foundation in the sense of money. But come on, you think Vince is paying out of straight out of pocket? No, the deals that they have, they're able to do that. You know what I mean?
How do you feel about this rumor that's going around for this press conference that's happening on later today that Tony Fury is going to challenge Braun Strowman and Kane's going to challenge Brock at Crown Jewel?
I mean, it just goes back to what you're saying, that they're trying to make this as a combat sport thing. I don't necessarily care for it just for the simple fact of it's
at Crown Jewel.
It's at Crown Jewel. Ain't nobody watching that. I'm not watching it. And two, it's just it takes away from the stars of that's in your. This is the whole issue that we're having for the past couple of years or so. You have so many talented superstars on the roster, but again, we decide to bring in this person, that person, because we're trying to attract whatever, and it's not working.
I think it's more so is to bring a familiar face to the Fox audience too, and I agree with that. These are faces that people that usually watch Fox Sports, in the combat world, they're used to. So if you bring them in, you can kind of edge in to make them watch. Let's see what happened with they go to WWE. Same thing they did with Ronda Rousey. Same thing they did with Mayweather. Floyd
Mayweather.
Right. So
Mike Tyson. I mean, it's part of, and I get it, but there's a difference.
As long as they're not holding those titles, I'm good.
Right. But there was a difference when Mayweather came in, and there was a difference when Tyson came in. WWE or WWF at the time was very, I don't want to use the word lucrative, but very more successful at the time. Whereas now you're bringing these people in now at a product that's struggling, and it's not because there's not enough celebrities. It's because you're not utilizing your talent.
Right.
So it's cool because that's just the entertainment part of WWE, but you can't keep neglecting your regular superstars.
Let's see how it goes with the draft later on today.
I'm excited.
So let's go over to our next topic. The Fiend and Seth Rollins was kept off of Raw this past week, and I think it's a smart move only because of the kind of reaction that they got towards the end of the night. We'll touch more on that in our Inferno topic.
I don't think it was a smart decision because, again, you get on Roman so many different times, but when Roman went over Undertaker, that man was on Raw Raw after Mania. The crowd is different. Yeah. And he got booed, cursed at, whatever, for 15 minutes straight, and he took it. I'm not saying it's Seth's decision because he doesn't write the show. Right. But you gotta look at it too. Like when I look at Seth on Twitter and there's certain things he tweets, he seems hurt about it.
No, he actually, remember he deleted his account at one point.
You know what I mean? And it's just and it's crazy. You see. Again, I don't mean to bring up Sasha, but or a lot of women, not even Sasha, but Naomi or whatever. A lot of women superstars get it. Like, get it from fans. Like, they say the most disgusting.
Dana Brooke.
Get the most disgusting, ruthless things said at them. They don't delete their Twitter. They don't delete Instagram. They may not, you know what I mean? They may not be on it. But I feel like and again, I'm not saying anything about Seth in particular. He's one of my favorite wrestlers that I enjoy. But, like, it's like the sense of entitlement. And I'm not saying he's not entitled because he is one of the faces of the company. But, like, come on, dude. You got to take it. Like, back in the day, when Rock was Rocky Maivia, people were saying, die, Rocky, die.
He still came out.
And it wasn't social media, you know what I mean? It was just whatever. So when you tell me you can't handle that, like, there's women, and not to say women are less than men, but women are taking it more than you ever will.
Right. I don't know if it was a call for Seth, like, what's the main reason why they left him off. We have an idea of why the Fiend was left off, and let's discuss that in our pit.
Yeah.
But for Seth, I felt like you should have gone out there. You need to take that on the chin.
Yeah.
Like you said, Roman went out there and he took it. You can't, everybody's not going to love you. And at one point, they're going to put you in a position where nobody's going to like you. And this is where he's going towards. He's becoming the new Roman. And I get it. You like his title reign, but he hasn't had any significant feuds this entire time. Since Mania.
not since Mania. We can say since Mania.
Because him and Brock going back and forth, that was cool. But after that, after he defeated the Beast, all you hear is the Beast Slayer, but the Beast Slayer is not doing anything.
No, and I agree. I agree in that sense. It's not necessarily I'm, like, overjoyed about the title reign, but it's just like, he doesn't, as a face and the things that he says, it doesn't bother me like it bothers a lot of people. But I do agree with booking. I do agree that it's a situation where it's just he's always booked strong and to overcome things. And
that's what Bubba Ray said on his show, is that Seth is not a person that the crowd could connect to.
Why is that?
Because, again, like you said, he's always overcoming. He's always even with when he cashed in, and he's always. When is the last time you really seen Seth have to struggle? Roman had to struggle more for the title than Seth did, to be honest.
Y'all were coming at Roman's neck, but Roman had to overcome a lot, but literally overcome a lot.
And that's cool. The only problem we had was him being in that spot constantly. Seth doesn't
have to overcome anything.
But exactly, like Seth didn't how he connected with him.
It's very true.
Now we go to the next topic. You want to talk about it, or you want me to bring it up?
Private Party with the major upset. Wow, we got Blue dancing. This is a dance break.
Private Party.
Anyway, Private Party came with the major upset and defeated the Young Bucks, the favorites. I guess it's a tag team tournament, right? I guess they're calling it that.
It's a tag team tournament for the first tag team champions.
Right. Tag team titles. So, yeah, it was a dope match. I was conflicted because we're going to talk about it too. It was Leo and Drew Gulak at the same time on NXT while this was going.
I didn't even get a chance to watch it yet. It's been such a busy day.
See, yo, I knew when AEW was gonna start. You were gonna you can't even front. You can't even front that this is you. Like this is AEW Blue's gonna go this way.
Nah, last week I watched both. I watched both just because I watched. I liked the card for AEW better than I liked the one for NXT.
I'm not gonna even hold you because I tweeted that when I saw the card for AEW. I was like,
right.
That's why me and him low-key got into it because I'm like, because we're live tweeting from our account. I'm like, my guy, like, I want to watch both. And, and on top of that, it was just like, NXT was kind of dry.
Right. So you can't, and we'll talk about the ratings because the rating shows it.
Yeah.
I looked at the card and I wanted to watch that. And again, my girlfriend loved the tag team match.
Like, she did?
Yeah, she loved it. She's like, oh, these are like, flying all over the place.
Well, shout out to Private Party because it's a hometown team, and they always like at Hog and training with Amazing Red.
Right. So.
But yeah, and it's good to see them that they're in this. And
I was surprised. I was hoping that they won. I'm like, yo, I know the Young Bucks not about to run through this tournament and then lose in the finals.
Yeah,
they took us out in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, it's this the thing. Kind of like right now, it's like. You expect the Elite to win, but at the same time, it's like I think they're doing everything in their power to not book them as strong so people can't complain, which is a smart thing.
The only person that's strong right now is Cody.
You think Cody's actually going to win the title?
No.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, though. And I think out of the elite, who's going to win at the next pay-per-view, I think it's going to be Kenny, because Kenny's been taking mad L's. So
he's been a trooper.
But
we might have to see the cleaner pop up.
I mean, he came out with the barb.
That's what exactly.
So he was my man was ready to clean up. But yeah, it was a dope match, and I'm a Young Bucks fan, as you know, but
right.
It was nice to see Private Party. It was different.
And the Young Bucks ran kind of heelish too when he spat in his face and trying to draw some heat.
Yeah.
But it sounded like it was an awesome crowd.
In general, I enjoyed this show better than last week.
A lot of character development, a lot of advancements.
And we'll get into it. I don't know if that's the next topic that you have, but
yeah, no.
The Inner Club?
Yep, yeah. Let's go into the next topic. The Inner Circle, not the Inner Club.
Bullet Club, The Club, Original Club, Inner Circle. All right, sorry, Inner Circle. What I wanted to, and I had this conversation with someone on Instagram in regards to it. Like I originally said last week, my whole thing about the first episode was just like, I felt that there wasn't really character development. I like promos. Say what you want. WWE is silly and whatever. Promos help transition a storyline, a feud. There was no, I like backstage segments as long as it's not too ridiculous and it, again, moves the storyline along. I'm cool for it. It's the reason why people popped when Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega had that spot with the glass table last week, right? And even when you saw Jericho talking to Santana and Ortiz last week for the tag team match for the main event, you know what I mean? To see this promo, and Jericho killed it.
Of course.
He bodied that, you know what I mean? It gets you you heard the reaction, and you saw the reaction on social media. It was like,
it crashed Pro Wrestling Tees. It crashed Pro Wrestling Tees.
You know what I mean? So it's going back to the conversation I had with someone saying that they don't want to see that. It doesn't make sense because if there's a camera there, why are they talking? And it's like when you watch sports, sometimes when it's halftime or sometimes whatever, you see the coach, giving out plays and what have you. The camera's there.
And you watch it. So I'm like, don't feed too much into that because it's scripted. At the end of the day, they trying to do whatever. It's scripted. This was great to move a storyline, move along a storyline. The shot that he took at WWE, which is a little silly though, even though it was dope. But let's not act like Jack Hager hasn't been using this. We the people. I don't know. I haven't really watched him on the indies to know if he still uses it. Well, he uses it. In MMA, he uses it. If you go on his Instagram, it's We the People. So let's not act, and you can't even front. That wasn't I know you're trying to do whatever, but when he was in, that was his one gimmick that low key got over. Slightly. Right. So I know we want to shit on WWE and be like, it's trash, but you got to give them low-key credit for that. But I know it's war right now, Wednesday Night Wars. You're not going to give them credit. He's with it.
He's with all the shits, right? So, he want all the smoke, so I get it. But the promo was fire. Yes, but it's still a terminology that's used. They want the smoke, regardless. And shout out to Santana Ortiz because, Boricua.
And I also like the shout out he made for Eddie Guerrero on his birthday. It was always nice for that reference. I don't think WWE didn't even. They just said happy birthday on Instagram and kept it moving.
Yeah, they didn't do a video package.
Nothing. So leave it to the wrestlers that have the real connections with these to make that kind of. I'm pretty sure if Triple H was around, something would have happened. But Triple H is busy right now. I really enjoyed the promo. I love the name Inner Circle. I was hoping there was nothing with the list because he kept referencing it and he pulled you away from it. That's how great Chris Jericho is. I'm going to go down this lane, but nah. We're going that way. And I really enjoyed that. And it put some great people around him that maybe needed the rub from him.
Santana and Ortiz.
And
Sammy Guevara.
Those needed, Jack Hager probably needed as well, but, especially those three.
I think we're low-key hyping this man up because
Jack Hager?
Yeah.
Nah, he's a beast in the ring.
I'm not saying he's not a beast in the ring.
He's undefeated in MMA.
I'm not saying that, but like again, I don't think his character. We'll see, but I don't think that's where it's at with his character.
They got him. Okay. There you go.
What you say to me?
Go. Time is ticking.
Well, you didn't really tell me what's the next one, but
Leo
Rush. One is don't do that. Don't talk to me that way.
You don't have the notes?
Don't talk to me that way. Anyway, he won the NXT Cruiserweight Championship because it's no longer called the Cruiserweight Championship. Yeah, they changed it. It's the NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
What? It's the NXT Cruiserweight Championship.
Yeah.
So what happened to the cruiserweights that's going to be wrestling after SmackDown?
I don't know. But that's what it's called right now. It's the NXT.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This makes no sense. I was talking to G about this last week, and G said that they're going to move the 205 Live to SmackDown with them on Friday. I'm like, no. Triple H said he wants to keep them with them on NXT. There's some kind of battle for the 205 Live roster?
I don't know, and I forgot where it was at. I don't think he necessarily said he wants to bring them to NXT, but it was...
No, it was in an interview. He said... We're hoping that the 205 Live brand could be merged with NXT.
But I think that's over time. I think the whole thing, it was kind of more so wrestling under that umbrella, but not necessarily be, we're NXT.
It matters as well.
But that's going off topic. Regardless, it was a big win for Leo, especially since he had that issue. I find it funny though, but then it goes back down. I don't hate it. But we'll, always bringing up Sasha. A lot of critics and stuff, when she came back, they were all like, oh, they're going to give her a title because she was a crybaby, this and that and third. But when Leo, essentially the same exact thing happened with Leo. He got his title. No one said anything. You know what I mean?
Of course not.
So it's always this double standard when it comes to men and women. But
not to take
anything away from Leo because he deserves his first title when he was... he helped. I'm not saying Bobby Lashley necessarily got completely over, but if he wasn't there with Bobby Lashley,
he would never been IC champion.
So it was well deserved, and I'm excited to see the type of matches he's going to continue to put on as the champion.
So if they're not gonna, here's my thing. I'm back to this. So if it's called the NXT Cruiserweight title, so that means they're gonna take the 205 Live roster. So what's the point of them being on Sunday?
But no.
Or on Friday?
No.
On Fridays?
I think that. Relax.
I'm just trying to make sense.
I'm just saying. I think that's necessarily that's what's going to happen. But I think it's a slow transition. At this point, NXT is starting to build up a really big roster. So now you're gonna take all those guys in 205 Live and put I think they're trying to transition that towards that way. So.
Anyway, we're done with this topic?
Yikes, yeah, I guess I'm done.
I mean, it's just very frustrating. Let's head over to the Inferno.
Why are you frustrated?
Because it's like you're not even, it feels like they're not even sure what they're going to do with the brand. And then, so how are we supposed to look at it? So we're supposed to look at it as the NXT Cruiserweight Champion, or what's going on with these guys that's going to be wrestling after SmackDown on Fridays?
I mean, again, like I said, I think it's just a situation where they're trying to figure it out.
So figure it out and then say something. How are you going to change the name of a title?
Yo, Blue's been on one since fucking Sunday.
All right.
You know what I mean? Okay,
let's go into this Inferno. We got 5 minutes, so no time for you to be taking those selfies. Has WWE been fumbling since their great start last week?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bad week. Hell in a Cell wasn't. It was an okay pay-per-view when you look back and we're actually talking about it. 2.5 out of 5. It was you have one. At least they produced one of the greatest matches this year.
They still won't save it.
I mean, the bad ending really messed that up.
A bad ending twice in a weekend.
What do you mean in a weekend?
Kofi Kingston losing in 8 seconds to Brock Lesnar.
Oh, well, that's last week. Yeah, I mean, regardless of that. Oh, we didn't even see. You didn't even put the notes for SmackDown.
What you mean for SmackDown?
Because remember, we didn't. It's Friday. It's Friday early before SmackDown, so you didn't put anything for SmackDown.
What is going on SmackDown tonight?
Last week, Kofi lost in 5 seconds.
again, we're only picking 3 to 5 topics now. So
yeah, but that was a big topic. That was a big topic.
That's why I wanted to discuss it right here in the fumble. It's a fumble.
In the Inferno.
Yeah, in the Inferno, because they fumbled with that.
It's a mental note that we have to remember that SmackDown is now kind of starts off the week.
Right. Yeah. There's nothing else on SmackDown happened besides The Rock showed up. That was pretty cool. Again, I wanted to talk about it during Inferno because at the end of the day, they had a good start and then they dropped the ball.
Well, I mean, yeah, last week was a pretty. Well, the Raw premiere last week was whatever. SmackDown was really good, like you said. The Rock
NXT
came back.
Was good.
NXT was fire.
That's what I'm saying.
The Rock coming back, y'all know that's my favorite wrestler ever. So you know I felt
him and Becky had great chemistry.
They had great chemistry, and it's just crazy to see Becky at where she's at. But yeah, it's typical WWE fashion to fumble, and it's like, and it's crazy to think that you have that mindset, like. You literally have competition. Yes, it's only one day out of the week, but one day out of the week can turn into 2 days out of the week, 3 days out of the week. You know what I mean? And
right.
that's how they expand. You know what I mean? NWA Power, I didn't get the chance to watch it. I heard everybody...
It was Tuesday.
Yeah.
I heard it was dope.
I heard it was dope.
AEW
Dark
is happening on Tuesdays.
Matches. Yeah.
Like, that's a dope concept. Like,
that's a really dope concept, especially since we don't get to see with WWE their dark matches. But you can't have that mindset. You really can't have that mindset. This is war. And then I guess, do you want to bring up the situation about Vince?
Sure. This is a great moment for it.
So it was reported, I believe, by Fightful, or one of
it was Fightful, Sean Ross.
Sean Ross Sapp. Essentially, Vince's initial reaction was he laughed at the fans, not at the fans, but the reaction the fans gave to the ending of the main event.
Right.
You know what I mean? He laughed it off, but then realized afterwards he messed up. This is a 70-some-odd-year-old grown man. I don't see how this is funny to you.
He found it messed up when he started chanting AEW. I'm pretty sure.
Like
the booing, he probably was like, "Oh, they're booing, ha 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 ha." Get a reaction.
It's like,
and then when you hear AEW, he's like, "Uh oh."
And the crazy thing is, I was like, "Yo, I want to go to Hell in the Cell just because, my favorite might win." You know what I mean? And to see how the Fiend, and I was gonna say the Bray, the Fiend and Steph was gonna pull this together, and then the whole thing was like, you had 4 matches confirmed. Keep it that way. Be like NXT. NXT don't overload their cards. Why did you have to put Matt, Phillips, Randy Orton, and Mustafa Ali for what? Like,
I laughed at that.
I was like, what? Like, what are you doing?
You could have had a lot Ali versus Shinsuke for the IC titles since they've been having their back and
like,
forth.
y'all don't like, you don't like, but then fans, like, they don't know what they want. They either want matches, they don't want matches. You could have really made this like takeover the most important matches since you completely forgot to book the actual show anyway. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Just
everybody time.
Give everybody time. But then all these random ass matches.
Maybe add the tag team title with the Kubaki Warriors. You could add. That's fine.
Yeah, but like my point, because we're running out of time. You're a grown ass man. Like, there is no reason why that should be funny. You're running a business. I guarantee you, if you went somewhere and that's conducting, like, running service, like, let's say your internet or whatever, something that's not up to par with what you think should be excellent service, and they didn't provide that, and they laugh at you, you'd be mad. You report them to the Better Business Bureau or the Federal Trade Commission or what have you to shut them down. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Fuck it. Give me the penalty. It's just, you can't keep doing that. You can't keep doing that and expect like people to fuck with you. You're a grown ass man. There is no reason why you wrote that silly ass ending to a show. And then again, I get it because the whole Hell in the Cell Halloween vibes. There was no reason why that was the main event. And then Seth had the audacity to try to come at Sasha's neck about main events and whatever. Shorty put on with your fiance put on a classic match that we're gonna talk about years from now. We're gonna talk about this match with Seth and the Fiend, how horrible it was. Not because of anything else. You know what I mean? It's
ladies and gentlemen, Jen's rant.
But am I right?
I'm not speaking on it because I don't want a penalty.
I got the penalty. Go. When we cut Matt segment short. Am I right?
You're right.
Like, you're a grown ass man. Why is things like that acceptable? Like, you've been in this business way too long to know that shit is hell in the cell. There is no stoppage. So bash his brains out there. If you gotta win,
Mick Foley made it through. Sean made it through.
give me a mic. I dropped it.
It was a few times you could have saved somebody. Big Boss Man was hanging, literally, on a noose inside the Hell in the Cell.
Look at it. His voice is cracking. He's getting very emotional about this.
Okay, we went to my rant already. And the winner, we going to head over to the pit.
You need something for the pit, like a noise, like maybe a drop because it's like pit.
I was thinking to Roddy Piper.
Okay, well, maybe you should get the sound effects going back, huh?
Let me get some time on my hands, and I'll get right back at you.
Alrighty.
The pit. And we're going to kick it off as we're going to start trying to do every week.
The Mixed Tag Show. If you want our coffees, look out soon for our store. Make sure you cop our shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees coming soon. We're just fixing stuff up. And Patreon. WWE shop. It's commercials, like commercial breaks.
I mean, they got all that in the ticker.
Commercial breaks, that's fine.
The winner is AEW has won the second round of Wednesday Night War with 1.140 mil total views, while NXT came in with 79,000.
How much did NXT?
790,000.
I mean, it was well deserved. NXT was very dry this week.
And they did a telecast. AEW did. So they still did pretty well, even though they had to redirect some fans to another channel for the MLB playoffs.
It was AEW, like I said, this show, the second show, was, in my opinion, much better than the debut. And NXT was just dry. And that's saying a lot because, normally they produce good shows, but...
I seen the Roderick Strong versus Shane Swerve match. That
was cool. It was cool, but nothing happened on NXT where it was just like, I mean, when Velveteen Dream got at Roddy, for his his man area.
I think I'm gonna take a picture like that with my new title.
Anyway.
Moving forward.
Image. Anyway, with that said, it was just not. It was well deserved. Like AEW, when I was telling you earlier, I want to watch both. I don't want to wait. I want to live tweet now because AEW was producing a better show, and I didn't want to sit there and just be like, you know what I mean? NXT. I don't want to say they dropped the ball, but it wasn't that great of an episode. Kushida and Walter was cool, but it was nothing. Again, it wasn't like.
So I don't have to watch it. You saying?
I would say watch it. You form your own opinion. You know it wasn't a bad show. It wasn't Raw. It wasn't Hell in the Cell, but it wasn't what I'm used to in the sense of. Well, I mean, NXT has its dry moment, so I can't even say. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
Tom Phillips has a new position revealed. Well, Tom Phillips' new position has been revealed. He is now an announced team for NXT UK alongside Nigel McGuinness. As you know, Vic Joseph usually do the commentary over there, but now he's over at Raw, so Tom Phillips fills that role. I wonder what made them make that switch between the two. I mean, Vic Joseph is very great.
Yeah, Vic Joseph is very good, but Tom Phillips is also pretty good too.
Right.
They could have honestly had him and Vic doing Raw. Take out fucking Jerry. I'm sorry,
Yeah, let the young guys run it.
Not even let the young guys, but Jerry is trash.
Honestly, they should have let Tom Phillips go to SmackDown and move out Michael Cole. But
everyone gets on Michael Cole. Everyone gets on Michael Cole. Michael Cole is not that bad. The only thing that Michael Cole is not good at is play-by-play because he stayed calling out the wrong moves and he'll say the wrong person's name. He'll call Lacey Evans Lacey. I mean, that's annoying. You know what I mean? But other than that, especially as a face, because he was horrid as a heel commentator, he's not that bad. Well, shit. And then Renee wasn't on. She was doing more backstage shit.
Right.
Last week it was just Corey and Michael. So. And
that's what I'm saying. For me, we've been hearing Michael since the Attitude Era. It's time to move forward.
Yeah, but I pick him over Jerry in a heartbeat.
Oh no, of course, but if we have ability to switch out both,
well, if you're gonna make, but if you think of the flagship show, like at this particular moment, Michael Cole's the face, the voice of the WWE. Whether you like it or not, that's the situation. So if Raw is now the second show, the B show, I would have put Vic and I would have put what's this guy's name, Tom Phillips, and I would have put Byron Saxton. That would have been great.
Where is Byron?
There was something here, and I meant to tell you to put that, but I forget. I think right now he has like a backstage role too. I guess until they find something.
Battle wounds. So apparently Bray Wyatt, aka the Fiend, and Sasha Banks came out of Hell in a Cell kind of banged up. And that's kind of the reason why the Fiend was kept off of Raw, but his injury is not as serious as Sasha, as it's allegedly that she's having a back injury currently.
Well, I heard a couple of things, but besides that, Bray, didn't mention he did show up on Raw, but I guess it was after.
Yeah, he showed up in a dark match and attacked Cesaro.
I mean, we wish them a speedy recovery. You put your body on the line just to not win the title, but that's neither here nor there.
House of Glory has a new ownership. Rap mogul Master P. Make him say, You hear my news voice? You hear my news voice?
Make him say, Rapper Master P from New Orleans is just acquired House of Glory Wrestling.
He made the announcement via his Instagram.
Hip hop, when hip hop and wrestling mesh and marry each other.
But some people forget is that Master P actually has some wrestling background because he was in WCW with his No Limit stable. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was towards the end when they were getting ready to, but he got some, some. Master P does a lot. I gotta get that to him. Basketball player.
He's the definition of a mogul. Like now you haven't really heard much from him as hip hop and change. Yeah, but back in the 90s, like the man had, what was that movie? I forget, that was really popular.
Oh, that's what he just shot this part 2. I got the hookup. See, y'all youngins don't know about that. Yeah, I got the hookup part 2.
Master P was very, very was 90s, part of 90s culture, right? So hip hop in particular. So, like I said, I think that's this is a cool thing that's going on.
Especially with Amazing Red trying to slowly fade out. It looks like.
Yeah, and I asked this question, like, yo, is this becoming mainstream? Like, is wrestling starting to become mainstream again?
Of course.
You know what I mean? So it's great. If you can get more people to watch wrestling
Jeezy
and more competition.
AEW. I think I'm the only person that realized that.
Move on, Mark.
I'm just saying, but I'm just saying in general, like, Jeezy referenced AEW. Wale is going back to NXT. Like, it's becoming popular again amongst the hip-hop world and general pop. Like, it just is.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited too because again, it just puts more eyes on wrestling, and just for the simple fact that it just gives WWE more competition to get better.
Well, Kevin Smith, who just got back started liking wrestling, he was over at AEW last Wednesday for Dynamite's premiere, and because of that, he lost his invitation to go to Smackdown on Friday. Him and Jason Mewes, a.k.a. Silent Bob, was supposed to, go out there in the blue carpet and everything like that. But, just because they showed up at Dynamite, WWE was like, yeah, we don't need you in the same week.
I think that I agree. If
a smart move.
It was smart. Imagine, they had you first, now we have you.
Right.
Nah.
It would have been a whole nother Rick Rude situation.
Exactly. Well, maybe not.
Not that bad, but
you talk
along the lines.
Yeah. So.
It's like, there, you got a sloppy seconds. Kind of like, that's why I feel like the Cain Velasquez was kind of interesting too, because it's like, they wanted him, but then he's like, aha.
I mean, but you see, WWE got a former heavyweight, whatever, MMA fighter, and then you got But if AEW, they building up their celebrity.
That skateboard to jump into Jericho was hilarious.
It was funny.
It was hilarious. Changes being made to the draft, supposedly, allegedly, because we don't know how much is going on. For those that don't know, tonight it will be Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. and Seth Rollins will be representing Raw. Roman Reigns representing SmackDown.
So
now, this is where I had an issue.
Okay.
Because apparently, of course, Brock is not going to be there. He's the heavyweight champion, so he can't be champion versus champion. But why not give Kofi Kingston that spot to represent SmackDown? He was your last champion. Mm-hmm. Roman was not your champion. So how is he automatically put in as a representative for SmackDown? I get it. Star power, Fox,
I'm not even saying because of the star power thing. But I think, like, I was literally, before you started, I was going to say this. I'm actually excited for this match. To see Roman and Seth. When's the last time Roman and Seth went at it?
Like 2018, 17?
So it's been a while, you know. And especially
since seen Kofi versus Seth. That could have been great chemistry.
It was this year.
Was it? Oh, yeah, it went on Raw. It was great chemistry.
Okay, but we saw it. It's just like brother against brother type thing. You know, I actually like it. Now, I'm confused, though, how this is going to work, because how I interpreted what they plan on doing was getting a Fox rep and a USA rep, and then doing it like a draft.
Right.
So that was my interpretation of what they were going to do. So now it's like, okay, Roman and Seth are going to have this match. Let's say Roman wins. Does he pick? No. Or does the Fox rep come and pick? Is the Fox rep going to pick? Is Roman automatically on SmackDown and Seth, I mean, he has the title, the Universal title, but is he automatically, Raw? Like these.
There's so many open-ended questions, and I think I do think they're gonna have. If Roman wins, then a Fox rep comes out and make the pick. If Seth wins, then the SmackDown rep, USA rep comes out.
So who do you think are gonna be the first picks for Raw and SmackDown?
Becky Lynch or.
Well, Becky for who?
Becky, whoever wins first. SmackDown's gonna win.
Yeah, but Becky has the title. These are just I'm asking because these are.
What's hard about this?
Legitimate questions.
Because now you're gonna have Roman beat your champion, so that's not even gonna make sense. So somehow Seth got to beat Roman for Raw to get the first shot, because everybody suspects SmackDown to get the first shot. So then Raw's gonna do something stupid like pick Seth first. You know what I'm saying? Like.
And again, like I read somewhere, the reason why Seth and Becky went over, because obviously Becky's the quote unquote the face right now. Right. You want your champions going into the draft, but that's stupid. You know what I mean? Because if you want her to be on SmackDown, how is she gonna be on SmackDown with a Raw title? You know what I mean? It's just it was all of this seems just rushed. Like you had all this time, because we knew the draft was coming months ago. You had all this time to plan this out accordingly and make your tweaks to to the script. That's fine, but you should have some type of guideline, even though they say they do.
Yeah, apparently they already have the roster set out already.
But
nobody has eyes on it except for the reps.
But that's not what I'm even saying. I'm just saying for this to actually make sense, because again,
makes sense.
You want Becky to be on SmackDown, but Becky's the Raw Women's Champion.
You're acting too much. Making sense.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
What has anything in the past week made sense?
Let's get a red hat that says "Make Wrestling Great Again." I'm pretty sure someone did that already.
Probably.
What's going on with Kevin Owens?
So I think the only person that realizes this is that Kevin Owens has moved to the alumni section, and there's no comments from WWE. There's no comments from Kevin Owens. He hasn't tweeted since. He did one tweet after Friday Night SmackDown. He did one tweet, but then there's nothing else. So is there like a issue with his contract where they didn't re him up? He's like, all right, I'm out.
No, because he recently, not too long ago, signed for a pretty.
Allegedly, there was nobody really reported. That's what I'm saying. It's usually allegedly, but how does it make sense that he fired Shane, and all of a sudden now he's an alumni?
I told you it was literally probably a mistake.
It's been like 3 days.
I mean, has anyone else tweeted about it?
I don't know. I've seen some people mention to it on Twitter. Mm-hmm. I did a quick search before we came to the show. Mm-hmm. But like, again, what is happening? Like I said, I don't think the dirt sheets picked up on it. I forgot how I fell upon it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh snap, he's in an alumni section. Mm-hmm. So what is happening? Is it a storyline thing?
I honestly, truly believe it was a mistake, but that's just me.
But how don't you not fix it? Freaking 3-4 days later.
You gotta call WWE.
All right, let's head over to curtain call.
Nope, because we forgot about Edge.
Oh, you want to discuss the Edge situation. So apparently Edge is trying to get cleared so he can come back to the ring.
I'll handle it from here. So Edge was reportedly in Pittsburgh, or was in Pittsburgh, handling some business. A lot of people were shocked that he was able to do that spear, especially since a lot of people were surprised by the spear that he did. So that led them to think, well, can he actually come back? So we'll see. What do you think about that? Would you like to see Edge come back?
Depends. Is it full-time or part-time? If it's full-time and his body can handle it, sure, why not?
Yeah, but if it's full-time, doesn't he get pushed immediately into the main event picture and might steal the spotlight from others?
And that's the other issue. If it's part-time, I don't really have a problem with that either. You know what it is with Edge? I feel like he got the raw end of the deal, the way he had to go out.
Of course.
I think he deserves. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's one of those people I wouldn't mind if he came back part-time or full-time, because I feel like he deserves to go out on his own way.
No, I understand. I agree. It would be nice, but I also feel like it's 2019. It's just like you have there's people that are literally not being utilized, such as Aleister Black, even though he had a match this past week.
Do we call that a match?
Buddy.
I didn't even watch it. I heard it. I'm like, what? All right.
I just know what they're doing. Buddy Murphy, Shinsuke, even though he has the title, it's just very, 1 minute he's defending it, this and that and third. So there's just a lot of talent that are not being utilized. And as much as I think Edge is great and is one of the greatest wrestlers, it's literally taking time. It would take time from others.
And I agree with you, but again, I think I've said this before. There's certain people that just got to get a pass, and I think he's one of those people that got to get a pass. He put a body. He legit retired for entertaining us. So if he could get a chance to have a proper farewell, let him have his proper farewell. It's not gonna hinder anybody else that much, as opposed to
how you figure.
But my thing is that he earned it. He earned to get a
yeah. But if for that matter, you can say your guy Brock Lesnar earned it.
And that's why to me, he still draws.
Yes, but it takes away from others.
But if it's not like, again, if it's his farewell, if it's like just like how Kurt Angle did his farewell, he came back, did his thing. If it's one of those, I have no problem with it because he deserves that. He deserves it. He put it, to me, it's just like Chris Benoit. He deserves to be mentioned. His name needs to be mentioned because the reason why he got to where he was for entertaining us. So people turning the back because what he did.
Oh, that's a topic.
Like,
we can definitely.
No, that's gonna definitely be on our Patreon. Yeah. But I'm gonna leave it there, because we need to say that. But I'm a very big advocate of saying Chris Benoit's name.
Chris Benoit, yeah.
I'm an advocate of showing his matches.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We'll say that for Patreon. But that's what I'm saying. Like, some people deserve a chance to come back and say bye-bye.
And say bye-bye.
And that's my last time.
And since we're on that note and we're saying bye-bye, we're going to finish with our curtain.
Do you feel a change in wrestling is happening right now? In which direction do you see it going?
I mean, that's pretty obvious that the change in wrestling has happened. Just the fact that you have competition, 1. 2, it forced NXT to go live. In the sense of, and now you just see more and more promotions doing different ways of putting themselves out there. Like, again, NWA Power.
I gotta find some time to watch that.
Me too. So it's like wrestling has always been around and there's always been numerous of promotions, but now it's really, since we're in 2019, you have different means and ways of watching it, whether it's on your phone, whether it's on your laptop, on your iPad,
Xbox,
whatever.
Fire Stick.
Exactly. You have
Apple
so
TV.
Many. All right. You have different ways of
Roku.
You have different ways of actually. I'm gonna flip this table over.
We can't. We don't own the plant.
Okay. Anyway, but you have different means of getting your wrestling. So, and I think that in itself has changed, because I remember just a few years ago, before we had the WWE Network, when I was trying to watch pay-per-views, I wasn't buying the pay-per-views. I was trying to stream it. So it's just different things in that sense. I think it's changing, but also too, there's so many, specifically WWE, where it's just still stuck in their ways.
Right.
So yes, it's a slow shift in just competition wise.
Right.
But I think format wise, in regards to what we're actually watching, not necessarily.
What is on Thursday nights for wrestling? I can't remember what it is.
Maybe NXT UK. I don't know if it's still on Wednesday.
I think it's still on Wednesday. Because the reason I make that point is because when I was watching wrestling this
hurts.
past week with my girlfriend, she's like, "Yo, is wrestling every night now?" Because she comes over and there's wrestling on the screen. So she's like, "Oh, we're watching wrestling tonight. Great." And it's like,
poor thing.
And then she's like, "Oh wait, so it's like every day?" I'm like, "It's like 2 days out of the week there's not wrestling, I guess."
Poor
now,
thing.
maybe 6. Because Sundays would be pay-per-views, and I think there is a change in wrestling going.
Saturdays with AEW's pay-per-views.
Yeah, so I feel like wrestling is going through a change, and it's a very good change. I feel like it's becoming popular again. It's becoming cool to be a wrestling fan. I've walked numerous times around, and I'm having a shirt on. I'm like, oh, I've went there. I'm like, really? Like, I went to WrestleMania. I'm like, really? Oh, I know who that is. Or they throw me the Too Sweet. And it's just like, it's becoming fun again.
I will say, there's a different. I guess and no, I agree in the sense of it being popular. I did when I went to AEW last week, and I
hit the table. It's gonna resonate through the mics.
Don't talk to me that way. When I went to AEW last week and I was on the train, yes, Jenna was on the train. Me, I know. Wow, shocker.
Wow, public transportation for
I know.
Jenna.
Oh my god!
And the
car funny, service? And you know the funny thing was, it was some random ass, crazy ass dude. I'm like, yo, this is why I don't fucking take the train. Anyway, there was some guy when I got on the train, and I think he peeped too because I had the AEW Jericho changed. I forget the shirt. Shout out to Lionel that got me the shirt. I was like, is that an Aleister Black shirt? But I didn't say anything because I didn't want to be that person. But then I noticed like we both were still on the train, and I'm like, oh, maybe he's going to AEW, but not in a fucking Aleister Black shirt. Anyway, whatever.
They do stuff like that.
Yeah, but I feel like people were doing that more so to WWE, not AEW right now. Anyway, but then I got up, I'm like, nice Aleister shirt, and he's too sweet to me. So yes, I agree. Like you see now, people are willing to wear their wrestling shirts out there because it's kind of, whatever. But I also feel too that if it was popular, then you'd see more like the ratings at 2, 3, 4 million as opposed to 1 million.
I think don't let that discourage you too much. I feel like sometimes you never know. People will start having watch parties. There's different ways of watching it. People are probably streaming it illegally. You know what I'm saying? People are cutting the cable a lot. So,
I understand, but still,
so it's a different vibe.
I understand, but for that same point that you made, when people watch basketball and football, it's still, the numbers are still there.
I'm not saying it's popular as those sports, of course not, but it's still like for the merch, for example, I have one of my frat brothers who wore a Bullet Club shirt in one of his pictures. I'm like, yo, I know he doesn't watch wrestling. It's like, yo, what are you doing with a Bullet Club shirt? What do you know what that is? He's like, nope. It's a cool shirt though. I'm like, so it's just, I don't know, it varies, but I really do think it's becoming more mainstream, especially now that they have this merger with Fox, and now this whole Wednesday Night Wars thing going on, because now you constantly see commercials by AEW. Before AEW dropped, I had people asking like, what is this AEW? Is that another W? I'm like, no, that's their competitors. They're like gonna rival with them. Like, oh, okay, I might have to check that out. I'm like, they're like, they're supposed to be called, they say that they're the alternative to WWE. So like, oh, let me see what that's about. So it varies, and I think it's a very good thing. And I see that. I feel like it's gonna go in a direction where, again, we're gonna have a real war, not just NXT versus AEW. I feel like it's gonna eventually, they're gonna go for their second show on a Monday or on a Friday.
Yeah, but in order for you to go for that second show, that viewership, I'm not saying that's not gonna happen, but I'm saying you gotta really, I would think, see like, okay, now your numbers is high 2 million, 3 million, like that.
I think Raw did like 2 million and some change this past week.
It was very low this week.
That's what I'm saying. So
whereas SmackDown did extremely well. It was like 4 million. I think it was
like 3. It was 3.8 or some stuff.
That's very good.
That's very good for Fox. And again, it's free TV. Like, you don't really need cable for that. You could.
Shoo. I can't make whistle noises.
You could just turn down on the dial and fix the antenna.
The
Old school.
antenna.
Like, that's how UPN 9 SmackDown.
Yeah, I had the floor model TV. Whatever. That's our show.
that's our show. Make sure you go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Instagram at the Mixed Tag Show, or on our personal at.
If you're looking for a Mixed Tag Show,
we're doing our socials first.
At Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEE.
Or at It's Simply Blue. I've changed. Yes, everything changed this past summer. There's a lot of reasons why, and hopefully we can tell you guys later.
Not for me, but.
Yeah, no, you didn't change your name. I had to change my name. But and then we went TV14. So now I'm like, so did I really have to change my name? Anyway.
Say a curse. Yeah!
Also,
yeah!
you got the Mixed Tag Show mugs. We'll be having that on sale soon. We had the Mixed Tag Show shirts last week. We will have that on sale soon. We're going to have it on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Mixed Tag Show mug. Looking for our lovely mug. You have to play the music.
The QVC song?
Yeah, exactly. Look for this mug. Head on over to, we don't have a website currently, but when we do. Huh? Alrighty. And then we got the other shirts that we plan on releasing on Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, we got Gold Standard coming out.
I had to fight this man for this Gold Standard one.
And
but
we're gonna have the concrete version. Concrete version looks something similar to this. What else do we have?
Like the one we wore last week, and then the cartoon one that we gotta fix.
The cartoon one. Well, I don't think we have room for that because right now Pro Wrestling Team only limits us to 4 shirts, so that's gonna have to wait till the next batch. We'll talk about that later. Also, head over to a WWE shop, click the link, and get your WWE merch. I'm wearing Mia Yim. Shout out to Mia Yim. Go ahead, girl. Yeah, get that title over at NXT. And that's it. Oh, Patreon. Make sure you sign up and become a patron on our Patreon.
For my Latin World Order, aka LWO jacket.
Okay. And
wow,
Patreon.
Don't be a hater, son.
And Patreon. Make sure you become a patron on Patreon. And I'm still waiting for my chalk line.
You know what I mean?
And
speaking of which, shout out to Astro. He was telling me that when you're gonna get the jacket because it's restocking, so you don't want to.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
When is it? Next week. I gotta figure out my coins for that. And
because you can't be that's undisputed. Yeah, you don't have the jacket.
I got everything.
Kyle O'Reilly was wearing it on NXT.
I saw that.
Was Blue wearing it?
I gotta hit them up and see when they gonna want my order. Mm-hmm. So I gotta hit up Roderick Strong since he's doing that.
You have it. Oh, you can access like.
I could send him a message.
Can you really?
He verified I was undisputed. So that's my contact person for my
Can
application.
you hit him up in the DMs though?
I gotta check. I gotta double check. But he verified me. I got the tweet.
You stuttering right now.
I still got the tweet. He verified me as undisputed.
And that is our show.
Patreon. Become a patron on Patreon. Help us get these coins up. We're gonna put some skits up there because that's what y'all said y'all want. We're gonna put some of our debates up there. We're gonna do our shout outs, the credits. $1, $3, $5. We might add a $7 one because you guys want a lot of backstage stuff that we could probably add on for $7.
Sorry.
Don't do that. You got Matt scared. He's like, wait. See? Yeah, no flipping. All right? And that's the show. Yeah.
Sorry, when it comes to wrestling. All right. And
this is awesome. This is it. Yeah.
Okay. We still need that ending.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Tag show.